back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And today we're actually going to combine two practices into one. I originally was actually supposed to go to the gym or go for a run outside or any of those things. And it's actually storming today, so that's not happening. But the good news is I get to get you some more content of the yoga variety. So Get Fit With Me series yoga edition, that's what we're about to do. And we're going to be reviewing one of the first people that I used to review on this channel a lot, Yoga with Adrienne. So she's not of color, but it is what got my channel started. So I always make sure I still review her videos because it's kind of, she actually, besides this getting this channel started, she actually brought me back into the practice of doing yoga because pre-pandemic, I kind of stopped doing yoga because I just moved to the city and yeah, you know, life. And then when the pandemic happened, or when the world changed, if you will, I had to, you know, make adjustments because gyms weren't open and just running by itself, no. Or just cardio by itself, no. So thanks to her, that's actually how I got started back in, you know, into the practice. But anyway, let me state the two videos we're doing. One is a 10-minute video called Breathing, 10-minute Balancing Breath Control. And then the other one is a 22-minute practice called Prenatal Yoga. And yeah, no, I'm not pregnant, but most yoga practices are catered towards everyone. And just because you're not pregnant doesn't mean you can't do the practice clearly. So we're going to go ahead and review both those. And I'll try my best to try to review the prenatal one from a perspective of if I was pregnant. I don't know how that's going to go, but we're going to try it out. But anyway, because both the practices are fairly short, I figured I'll just combine them and we'll go with that. And I'm not sure if the first practice is going to have a lot of movement. So editing purposes, we may not have all of it all at once anyway. So anyway, before we get into the video, the candle that I am burning is Beach Cabana. Even though it's rainy outside, I'm trying to channel the sunshine. But without further ado, and yes, it is the evening, and we're doing this in the evening. So I kind of figured both these practices will be good for that too. I'm kind of hopping around a little bit. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. So to start this practice, we are starting the breathing sequence practice first. And with this, we're going to just be in a seated position, swaying, kind of getting our relaxation on. Just a gentle sway to kind of just get into the rhythm of things and kind of moving our necks also gently. And with this whole entire practice, we're just going to be doing different styles of breathing techniques, including the Ujjayi breath and the breath where you go. So that's also going to be included too. I forgot the name of it, so hopefully this portrays that. But that's pretty much a practice for this portion of it. And then I'll give you more commentary once we get to the prenatal yoga workout. Okay, so I lied just a little bit. I do need to provide commentary for the fact that isn't it crazy and kind of wild that it took a breathing practice for Zero to enter the chat. And so I just found it cute. I had to make a comment that yes, both Zero and Whisper are heavy in this practice. And I'm not sure if the breathing was just relaxing for Zero, if he was curious. I'm not sure. Those who also have pets, particularly cats, let me know what you think of why this was in the comments. So in the prenatal practice, prenatal yoga practice, we are going to start in a comfortable seated position, elevated seated position. So cross-legged, and you can either sit on a bolster, bolster, a blanket, or pillow. I chose a pillow, and we're going to give ourselves just a nice hug to get the practice started. From there, we're going to do some rotation um, of our neck to get us started as well. After we give ourselves that nice hug, and then from there, we are eventually going to make our way into tabletop position. Um, and then also, I should mention in this practice, we are going to be using, if you are using a block or a pillow, we're going to be using it a lot in this practice because, again, it's prenatal yoga. So it's kind of catered to those who might be expecting. So it's kind of an assistance with this practice to help people do seated forward bend, or even like do a squat. You'll see it in the practice. I'm going to be using this prop a lot. From the tabletop position, we are going to make our way to a downward facing dog. And we're going to be pedaling that out. And then from there, we are going to make our way to the front of the mat. And this is where we are going to start using either, well, in this case, I'm using a pillow, but again, you could be using a block. But we're going to slowly make our way to the front of the mat for our standing forward bend. From the standing forward bend, we are going to make our way to a mountain pose. And then from there, we are going to be kind of doing this sway back and forth. Those who have followed my channel previously or have done yoga with Adrienne, she calls it knocking on heaven's door, where we kind of sway and just warm up by moving around. But pretty much that's what we're doing here. After doing this sway back and forth, we then are going to kind of do a modified split, kind of a split posture, she calls it that. I would say it's kind of like a little bit more like a pyramid. And then from there, without the bending, and then from there, we are then going to transition to a warrior one and then into a warrior two. And she did it in this practice where it wasn't as extended as it normally is, so I kind of followed that template. So that's kind of why I'm also wobbling a little bit, because I'm not used to not extending all the way for warrior one, as far as like my legs all the way there, because the prop was there, and also because Whisper was also in the video a lot too, so there's that. So we are doing that on both sides. But we did do Warrior One, and then we transitioned to Warrior Two, and then we also transitioned to Peaceful Warrior before we do that on the opposite side. I did just want to call that out as well. Next, after we do that on both sides, we're going to make our way back to our legs to the front of the mat, where we're going to do a wide-legged chair pose. Again, kind of, doing this practice, modifying for those who are expecting, or if you have like just a little bit of a larger belly. Also, too, from there, we will then do a standing forward bend with the prop again. And then I believe next after that, we then will make our way to that yoga squat. And again, we're going to be using that prop for that as well. From that yoga squat, we then are going to make our way to lying down or getting on the ground, where we will then do an extended child's pose. And then from there, we then will, while our legs are still in that extended child's pose position. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention with the extended child's pose position, if you notice my feet, I have them differently than I normally would to also get a nice stretch on the feet. You have that option available, or you can do what you always do traditionally. And then also, once we are out of that extended child's pose, we're going to thread the needle on both sides, if you will, still keeping our legs where they were before, but then going with our feet in more of a traditional extended child's pose position. Lastly, after that, you can either make her way into a kneeling position, I believe is what she ended up in, or you can do what I did and go back to that cross-legged position. And pretty much you're just going back to resting and getting your breath back together, kind of in a meditation pose, if you will. But pretty much that does conclude the practice for today. Hi, so that concludes not one, but two of the videos, and I'll rate them each separately. So the first video, when it came to the breathing practice, I loved it. One thing I was pleasantly surprised by, and I'm gonna, from a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it 8. Cause, okay, biasly, I don't really love breathing exercises, but I know I need them. And one thing I was pleasantly surprised when it came to this particular breathing routine was that it actually energized me. It did not relax me. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to calm me down, but instead I was like, all right, I could do another practice. So that was a pleasant surprise. And I love that there was other variations of breathing breath work that I was not expecting. So that was kind of cool. So that's how I rate the first one. The second video that we did, how I rate that, I will give that a 9.5 because honestly, I'm not pregnant, but I loved it. I loved it. It was calming. It was chill. It was just what I needed to wind down. So as soon as I got back up, I got wind back down again, which is perfect because my bedtime is coming up. So I do not want to be wound up when this is the evening practice. So that was perfect. And in both videos, time flew. So, and the comment section for the prenatal yoga it was cute. It was cute. You had guys commenting who's like, there was plenty of people saying, I'm not pregnant, but I love it. And also you had like a couple of guys like, hey, I have a beer gut, so this worked for me. And so I just love how inclusive it was. So if you appreciate that, I think you would love going to her channel and do both those videos. The breath video was just released yesterday. So about time this comes up, because it was yesterday, Sunday. So it's just put on Sunday. So about time this is posted, it would be about 5 days it's been up. And then the prenatal one has been up for about a week. That came on last Monday. So it's going to be not quite 2 weeks about time you get to it and about time this comes up. But I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up of that's how old the videos are. So they're both fairly new. They're like the two most recent uploads she has. She does have like a third thing that's in between the uploads where she's always live. And it's not, I don't think it's her, it's live. I think she just has her yoga practices in the loop. Because I think she is like the #1 YouTuber for yoga practices. Like she's kind of one of the most mainstream yogi instructors on YouTube. Because everyone I've known that's done yoga from YouTube has done her practice. Like she's kind of like the introduction that everyone does because she has yoga practices for everyone. She has like practices that are a little bit more difficult side. She has easy practices. She has a little bit of everything. And she's been doing it for such a long time. Like one of her first videos I discovered was like 6 or 7 years ago. So I mean, she's been doing it for a very, very long time. But anyway, that concludes the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.